The way the cue ball is near the cushion, it'd be a good shot to pot it and get on a colour. Of course, the red closest to the cue ball is potable, but very difficult.
Well, the acknowledgement as he walked away from the table about the fluke, but to be honest, it really was an extremely well played safety shot. That's all he's played. And the cue ball's finished in exactly the spot Ronnie wanted it, but he's now got to judge the pace to the brown, which he has done.
Sullivan, 10.
But you wouldn't expect John to leave anything easy from this. Looks as if he could find a path to the 3 reds near the black, maybe twice across the table, whichever.
Not exactly the red he played to hit, but he played it at the right pace, so he's not left anything, it doesn't appear. That was the main object of the exercise. Needs a good safety shot here. It's imperative he doesn't make contact with the pink or blue. Well, he just slid by them. Possible red into the right corner. Certain Ronnie would take it on if he knew where the cue ball was going to go after potting it.
Has he got the right angle? Has he got the pace?
Foul.
Had the pace, not the angle.
Ronnie Sullivan, 4.
And I think the red goes. The one that's near the black spot will sneak past the other.
Well, that was a bad mistake from John Higgins. He had quite a target to play for.
1.
And you just can't hand chances to the likes of Ronnie O'Sullivan. I mean, as I say, the first few shots after the mid-session interval, he looks as though he's just lost it a little bit. But you know, once he gets in a rhythm, and he will do if he keeps being left in amongst the balls.
Well, it just shows the difference in this frame to the 4 previous ones. Were already virtually a minute longer than any of the other frames took. Easily the longest, and quite a lot of play still in this. But if he can find a way of getting at the black, and he's just looking for the spot there, and I do believe he's pretty straight on the red to the left, so it's all about judgment of pace. And he's just the wrong side of straight on that red. And that would take him away from the black a little.
Yes, but looking at that, Ray, I'm not certain which other colour he played for. Obviously, if he rolls the red in, he'll believe in himself, and that's why he's looking at it now. He'd wish he could get that close. It doesn't look like it. So he's going to leave himself a tricky black, but what's the alternative? Well, he managed to force it through. Now, has he forced it through too much? I think he has. That was the risk. And that was basically because he was trying to make the black as easy as possible. And now he's not on it.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 5.
Everything right, except the reds come over the pocket. But still the problem, not only potting the red, but where does he find the colour? And if that, well, I was going to say, if that comes a bit further and comes on blue or pink to the middle, it would have worked out ever so well. The brown's on. The blue is on to this corner, but he might be tempted just to roll up behind the blue and pink, free them. Well, the self-same thing. And now much more danger for John Higgins if he can't hit a red and get it safe this time.
Well, the red near the top cushion to the left of the black is the one he'd be trying to make contact with. That's not the red. He hits that, he leaves one. To be fair, that was a good snooker laid by Ronnie. And now a big chance for Ronnie with the pink in the open.
1.
Previous mistakes from John Higgins you never thought was going to be costly, but now the pink's in play, it could be.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
Well, that's something that can happen when you're trying to hold the cue ball. He played it with lots of drag and trying to pinch a bit to get a fuller contact to take the pace out of the cue ball. He's forgot to get the right angle, so that could have been very expensive for John Higgins. It's not straightforward where it's finished for him. Still needs a good shot to find a colour.
Yes, and John Higgins, you feel, has got to take advantage of these mistakes. Ronnie O'Sullivan in the first 4 frames never made one. Well, not one that you could really put your finger on, but that was careless. I know what you're saying, Ray. You were maybe trying to pinch or something with the pink, but there was no need to. He had a choice of 4 reds to play on. So he's just not with it after this mid-session interval, and a chance now for John Higgins to take advantage. He can't let this opportunity go. Good shot with the rest and a brave one. Fully committed.
6. 7.
Well, it's a good pot, this. It was difficult to play it on the slow side to hold for the blue, and he's gone off the 3 cushions, and he's a little unlucky again. He's finished exactly where he didn't want to be. He could drop the pink in, but he can't get down to the reds. The brown's certainly no easy pot. I think he'll just take the pink on and drop it in and leave himself a distance away from the red. Much more difficult pot than he would have liked, but I think it was essentially not the pink in.
13.
Yes, I think in any frame when you're behind, points are the priority. He's just 4 points behind now in this frame. Shot for nothing here on the red.
John Higgins, 13.
Was nearly there. But the main concern was get that cue ball back to the balk end. I don't know whether Ronnie will be tempted by that red. No, he's not. He's playing the safety off the red to the right of the black. And he's missed it.
Foul and a miss. John Higgins, 4.
Well, I would suggest John Higgins don't have them replaced. Just let him play from there.
3 ball.
Yeah, the pink's in the way of this red in the middle, John, so he can't get to either side of it, so the free ball puts a completely different complexion on it, doesn't it?
Well, it does. That was the last thing I thought of, Ray, a free ball. Absolutely. The green, of course, will count as a red. So he gets 1 point for that. And then, as always, after a red,
1.
colour to follow. Not on the blue as he would like, but he shouldn't have a problem with this. Just roll it in. And he played the stun run through. It's
6.
It's a little bit more difficult to control the cue ball, and this isn't the red he played for. He played for the one near the pink.
John Higgins, 6.
I just don't think his confidence is very high at the moment. That was a tough red and having to play it with pace, but when he played the blue, he stunned run through, and that to me was a sign of a little lack of confidence. But at the moment, Ronnie can't do it and keeps giving John chance after chance. Now, certainly, he can get through to this red. Another chance to build up a lead in this frame.
1.
He's a bit short of pace, but he's got the red down beyond the blue as a saviour, as it were. Should be able to drop on that off 2 cushions.
Eight.
Well, he's not been over adventurous with that one. It was a bit straight, but he would have liked to have been straighter on the blue here. These, well, you expect him to knock them in, but just a little too far away for comfort. No problem, in it goes. 19
13.
points in front. So he's certainly needing all 3
14.
remaining reds to win this frame.
Yes, and just looking at the body language there, Ray, I think he's a little bit annoyed with himself. He wanted an angle on this pink so he could pot it and stun across and maybe bring the black and the red, but as you see, it's the wrong side of the pink for what he originally intended. Trying to force through, but if he'd have had the perfect angle on the pink, this break could have
20.
carried on. Not now. 26 ahead, but still 43 left.
Well, it looks an easy snooker to just push the red past the black, but we've seen how delicate a shot this type of shot is on this cloth. And it's okay if you get it right. Misjudge the pace of the cue ball. You could be in trouble.
Higgins,
Oh, that's okay. It's easy to hit. Not easy to play a good safety shot from.
Lovely delicate touch there from Ronnie.
touching ball.
Oh, that'll help John Higgins. Touching ball. So he fires away. See the bit of chalk on the white. I wonder if we'll have that cleaned. Well, it won't affect this shot because it won't be any kick. Because when it's touching, of course, he can't move the red. Just fire away. You're deemed to have hit it. He'll be trying to find the baulk cushion behind the green here. And he'd be looking for a snooker on both reds. And I think he's got it. 26 points in front and in control at the moment. Good shot from Ronnie. It really was to control the swerve like that. But John Higgins won't be too displeased to see that red go near the right-hand cushion. I think it's just a safety shot coming up here. He won't play the pot on this.
I have a feeling Ronnie can get past the blue to the red and maybe even get to the potting angle of this one towards the far corner. There you see it. Well, it wasn't easy, and John Higgins was a little unlucky to leave that path through, but what a beautiful pot from tight off the cushion. Luckily for John Higgins, he's not ideal on the colour.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
And it's amazing how quick this young man's brain is when he cares to play an all-round game, Johnny. Immediately found the awkward spot, kept the yellow in play. He knows that if he gets a chance on the red, the frame could be his.
Yes, and that's what he did. He brought the yellow into play. He got the snooker. And John Higgins hasn't got this red safe. Don't get me wrong, it's not an easy pot, but if Ronnie O'Sullivan knocks it in, you could see him winning the frame. Never touched the side. Brilliant pot. And from nowhere, Ronnie O'Sullivan now favourite for the frame.
John Higgins certainly doesn't look quite as sharp as we've seen him over the last couple of weeks. He's probably still getting over the effects of A wonderful match yesterday.
9.
He needs them all.
$16. 21.
Well, he created
27.
this opening with a very astute safety shot, but it was a very good red that he took on and knocked in, clean as a whistle. Woo, that one wasn't so clean though, but Ronnie O'Sullivan looked as if he might have lost that one. He hasn't. He's gone further ahead at 4 frames to 1.
3-frame lead for Ronnie O'Sullivan, and the frame-winning ball, the red which set up the frame-winning chance, John, was played with utter certainty, wasn't it?
Yeah, very good. He's actually slightly hampered on his cueing as well, and he's hitting across the ball. You can see he's slightly hampered there over the green, and that can sometimes take your eye off it, but he's cued it beautifully and straight into the centre of the pocket. Great shot.
Yeah. Strange frame, the effects of the interval, as we've seen so often in the past.
Happens many, many times. I mean, as I say, I said earlier, I think John will be delighted to see the interval, because Ronnie really was in the zone, as it were, and he was playing so well, and he looked like he was going to score, you know, 80 off every chance he got. So it's just broken his concentration up slightly, and I think that'll probably be the scrappiest game you'll see in the whole match.
Yeah, a painful one for John Higgins, because he did seem, for all that they both made mistakes, to have it under control for most of the frame, in fact.
Yeah, and Ronnie played a couple of loose safety shots and missed a couple of pots, and he got a few chances in the game, but the balls were always awkward and horrible. And he'd like to have seen a sort of game like that he could win and get himself back into it, and a disappointment to lose it, really.
Yeah, John just seemed just a little out of touch somehow, just not quite on 100% efficiency at the moment.
Yeah, he mentioned in commentary there, Ray Edmonds, he may just be still feeling the effects of yesterday, and I wouldn't blame him in the slightest for that. I mean, he had an absolute gruelling match with Matthew Stevens, and you can't begin to tell you how much that takes out of you as a player. And it also gets magnified if your opponent, like Ronnie O'Sullivan, he played in the first session, keeps making 70 and 80. It makes you feel tired a hell of a lot quicker.
Well, John, the best he can do now, obviously, is to share the session, and what a result that would be for him if he could win the next 3. But one gets the feeling that Ronnie is going to take control of this final in this opening session, don't you?
He is at the moment. It's a couple of big games for John. He needs to win 2 of the next 3.
That's a mistake. Now. Oh, well. And that doesn't help with John Higgins when your opponent plays not too good a safety shot. If he gets near the baulk cushion as he meant, he leaves it. It's just the feathering of the green, and well, if he gets this right, John Higgins, into the left-hand side of the pack, it could make this a very long frame, because of the fact that that red's over the corner.
Well, that's careless. Well, he just about covered it up. Now, he's looked to see if there's a plant there, but there's a red on the right-hand side of the table. Second right, as we'd say. You've got the one over the corner. Now, this other red will go in this right corner pocket, and also the red being near the pocket makes the pocket look bigger. Could go in off the red, worth a chance, and that's what he's taking on. times you play them, and because you think you've got a big pocket, it just gives you that bit more confidence to go for it. And he couldn't have hit this better. And he's on the brown.
Well, he couldn't ask for a much better chance now created by that brilliant opening red.
6.
But this table does look grease lightning fast.
Yes, he's made his highest break so far this afternoon.
13.
47, his highest, and the 45. That was in frame 2. We associate John Higgins with big breaks when he gets chances like this. And I'll be very interested now, as I'm certain this packed audience will be at the Crucible, what he can make of this chance. Because just so far,
14.
as we've said, whether it's reaction to his semi-final match last night against Matthew Stevens, he just doesn't look on the top of his game. You know he's going to stick at it and battle away. But any player, if they can get in and just prove to themselves that they're in the groove with a big break,
20.
could just relax him.
$21.
This is the last of the obvious reds to play for. Just have a look at the pack to see if there's anything else available. A plant maybe.
Well, he could just try and take away that one loose red to the left, and that would leave him on another one to this right corner, but it's so precise a shot wanted. He's got the ideal angle to go into the reds. And he wants a little bit of luck. If it hits the bump, he's okay. If it isn't, well...
34.
He split them wonderfully well. They really have all opened up. But cue ball a little near the cushion. And that red there that's just run to the middle, I think he can cut that one. That's come to his rescue.
Well, he made it look easy, but that was a terrific pot, and he judged the pace superb, nicely on the blue. And that was as confident as a pot he's played so far in this match. Judged that nicely.
40.
You heard that one. That was a different sound altogether because luckily it just took the pace off the cue ball, didn't throw the red off line. But you see where the cue ball jumped. Could have been worse.
Well, he didn't get into the cue ball there as much as he would like,
48.
but it's okay. He's come absolutely perfect on this red.
49.
Good positional shot required now off this black, and he's got a nice angle on the black. John Higgins in top form.
56.
You would expect him to get enough points now from this situation to clinch the frame.
'57. '62. 63.
So pot the black. With 70 points in front with only 67 left.
So just the kind of tonic John Higgins needed. He's worked hard for these.
Yes, and I think when you're playing a player like Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's a very natural player, you've just got to put down the yardstick, if you like, and say, if you make a mistake, this is what I'll do. And that will just make Ronnie think a little bit.
78.
If Ronnie makes mistakes and you don't take advantage of them, as John Higgins did in the last frame, then Ronnie can steamroll here. But he's taken these really well, and I agree with you, Ray. This will be a real good fillip for John Higgins and really settle him into the battle ahead.
'86. 87. 94. 95.
John Higgins' 10th century
102.
of this year's Embassy Championship, the 50th overall. And we were expecting a fair few from this match, the way these two players have been scoring throughout the last 15 days.
'108.
And if he was feeling a little tired, this will just make him forget it.
110.
There'll be a bit more bounce in his step now, I feel.
113.
'John Higgins well over 200 career centuries in competitive play, up among the best.
122. 128.
'A great time to hit your best form when you were starting to look as if you were going to drop a long way behind. John Higgins proves his mettle. Brilliant 135 to reduce his deficit to 2. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4 frames, John Higgins 2.
50th century of the championship, the first of the final, and John, you can't overestimate the importance of that frame to John Higgins.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. He started it off with a wonderful red, absolutely brilliant shot. You can see it here. Okay, John Virgo mentioned the pocket might be a bit big, but it wouldn't make any difference with this shot, because when he gets down and cues this, it goes straight into the heart of the pocket. Absolutely fantastic, and deserved a break off it, and really is a very, very tenacious little fella, this boy from Scotland, because he knew 4-1, danger signals are there. You know, if he loses another frame, he's definitely going to be behind after the session. And he just stepped up 2 or 3 gears. And after he potted the first red and a couple of colours, I said to you he was going to clear up here.
You did, yep, you called it very early. Also, the commentators were talking about the pace of the table. Now, you played on it yesterday. You had a